What if you could help others to find the power to heal themselves? Physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
When I started teaching my classes, it was in 2002, and I was just doing the past life regressions and contacting the subconscious part. But then as the time went on and we found how powerful this was and what we could do with it, a lot of the students began saying, you know, advanced past life regression doesn't really tell what it's all about. This is so much more than that. We think you should change the name. So it was a few years ago we decided to change the name to Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And this is the healing technique that we've now been teaching it, well, since 2002, that's 12 years.
What if you could time travel with them? Visit mythical places or angelic realms, other worlds, other galaxies. Help others to speak to their higher selves. You can. Dolores has taught thousands of people from across the world how to use QHHT, and now you can learn her method by going directly to dolorescannon.com. And don't forget to mention the discount code MORETALKS.
Join the stars of the Ancient Aliens TV show, Erik Von Däniken, as he returns to Manchester after an amazing response to his last presentation. David Childress will guide you through the evidence left behind. Mike Barrow will take you to other worlds, where Nick Pope will present the real X-Files. Paula Harris will share incredible testimonies. It's time to believe and raise consciousness. Join like-minded souls on Saturday, June 23rd, 2018 for Awakening. What do you believe?
Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of The More Show. Now on today's show, I'm about to be joined by my guest, Jamie Butler. Now I filmed this interview with Jamie whilst filming in Atlanta for my documentary, They Call Us Channelers. And I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm only going to use parts of the footage for the documentary, and I thought it'd be good to put this whole interview out there so you guys can see what happened during the taping of my channeled interview with Jamie, because I really enjoyed doing it. So it's about an hour and 40 minutes. It's some great material, and enjoy my interview with Jamie. I was just in the process of raising the money for my documentary, and there was a lady from Australia that was coming over to the UK to do some workshops on channeling Erik. And I promised her that I was going to get, interview her and everything else. And just at the time, it was one of those days when it was occurring that was just like major stressful. I've got half the equipment. I'm not ready for it. I'm not a clue what I'm going to ask them if I go there. But in the end, after feeling that I've let her down, I should go there really, I went, with resistance to this interview. And this was just outside Manchester. This was taking place at some small, village place. So I met them, I get there with all my equipment, I met them, this couple, she does a show called The Shiny Show, and I get to her address where she's renting this bungalow, and then I realise I've left all my camera equipment on the train, right? And I know, I kind of panicked quite a bit, right? But then I thought, right, I've got two ways to handle this, right? As a complete loony, right? Or, just see it that everything's going to be okay. So I tried to just keep it, everything's going to be okay. I was like, please take me back to the train station, right? So I get back to the train station, and they call through to Manchester where the train was ending up, and lo and behold, after 20 minutes, get a phone call back to say it's all there. So I go to the train station, and on the way back from that train station, I was just so at peace with just knowing that whatever's going to occur right now, I don't resist, I give up, I don't care anymore, I'm just so happy, everything's fine right now, so just let it be, right? So I go to this interview, and I set up, and we're kind of normally starting off, and then Erik comes through, and the message, he basically, and I'm personifying the words, it's going to be in the documentary how it occurred, because it was all captured on camera. And he comes through and he says that this is a message for you, not to, this isn't going to be part of the documentary. And you now have the option, if you wish to do so, to start a new religion, and to start something that's going to be an open religion and be something that's going to bring channelers together. Now he said he absolutely hated the word religion, couldn't stand the word, but he said that's really what it needs to bring the subject of channeling to a different level, and to bring it to just take it on its next course right now. And then he disappeared. He went, and then my cameras all shut down. Most of them shut down. The recording didn't work, except for up to that point where it recorded. They wouldn't record anymore. And I thought, and then the lady that was bringing Erik through said, I think that's it. I think I was meant to give you that message. And I was really pissed off at the time. I was like, hang on a minute. I've got all these questions I want to ask you, and you've just gone. And I was getting angrier and angrier as I was packing my stuff up. And then, I don't know what happened. I just turned around to the lady. I was like, what just happened there? And she's like, I think I delivered you a message about that you're going to set up a religion if you choose to do so, or a foundation of some sort. And I was like, and then I started to get more excited. I was like, oh my God, hang on a minute. What's just been delivered there to me if I choose to do so? And I remember going home really excited, living with my brother in Leeds at the time, and just saying to him and his wife, I said, you won't believe what's just come through there. And on this journey, I mean, before this happened, I managed to get hold of the domain name channeling.com. And I always thought when I got that domain name, it was going to be more than a reader's website. And I just felt that by making it just a reader's platform, I was cheapening the name a bit, but yet it's been a constant conflict. Basically, the guy that's owned that domain name since 1997, he felt that God brought me to him. And he felt that he'd held on to that domain name to give it to the right person. And I still wasn't sure what he meant back then, because he knew I was doing the documentary, so he felt that this was the right place to give it to, the home to. But it wasn't until, as Erik said to me in that initial space I had with him, the pieces of the puzzle will become clear on the journey, and they have been, because all the channelers that I've been interviewing for this documentary have been giving me the puzzles for the foundation, which is kind of cool. Now, sometimes I'm the one asking the questions, like I've brought it into this space now, but we'll explain why I brought it in here. And others, it's come from them. So, something's going to be born. And I always knew this was more than a documentary, but I think it's either something I've chosen before I've come here, or I've done it all before, because there's many times that there's some really fascinating information that's coming through from the channelers that we've lived this life before. This is not the first time we've done this. And now we're doing it in a different perspective, in a different way. This could actually be a life review. We may have the life review us about face. That actually right now we're on a mass collective life review. And we're able to, rather than go this big with our life, to go that big. And do the things and change something about ourselves that we never thought we could do. And maybe this is a collective life review, I don't know. But it's looking at things differently now. That's what the documentary is doing. It's very much going into the multidimensional aspect stuff. Do you know that? It's gone into, there's many facets of us. There's not just this reality. There's an infinite number of parallel worlds, and we're in each of them. Our soul is split off to have an experience that's slightly different to this. We think we only live this timeline once, but what if we can come back to this timeline and do things differently? How many times have we been on the wheel? That's what I keep saying to myself, doing this same timeline. Forget future and past lives. Yes, they're all happening, and they're all happening now. But I mean, what about this one? I don't know. It's for you guys to decide that, and that's probably why I'm doing the documentary, but it's some fascinating stuff. And I suppose you're kind of a receptive audience to it, so I'm not going to sell it, do you know what I mean? So,
some good ears.
And it was funny, when I spoke to Jamie about this today, you was like, Jesus, that's what's been coming through, this idea of renewed religion. Mm-hmm. So the guy who funded this documentary, we sat down a few days ago and we're like, you know what, I think we're going to form this foundation together. And we don't really know what it's going to be yet, except it's going to be the main place where people can come and find their teacher. What teacher resonates with you? Where are you at right now with your evolution? I mean, I don't know a lot, but I know that I'm about to speak to Erik. Which is going to be interesting.
Can I leave now?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm doing my best to stay here.
Thank you.
You can
Okay.
talk.
Okay.
I'm going
okay.
to disappear. You guys all know how this works, so I didn't need to explain anything, which is wonderful. You'll find your way. It's perfect.
What do I say? I hope that's helped. I hope that makes some sense, what I've said there. Yeah. Something special's going to come in now. I just know it is. Well, in a flavor it is. So what I'm intending to do now is when Erik comes through, as he comes through now, is probably interview Erik, but just see what Erik's gonna say.
Nope.
Nope. Oh.
Do you know what's really fun? Pulling fast ones over you.
I so feel that. I so feel that. When you put my bag on, left my bag on that train, I knew it was you.
I'm not Erik. My name's Maitland. Maitland, and I'm sharing the stage with him. And he said that I could come first because he doesn't want to come first because he's a bad sharer. Because if he comes first, then he's not going to let the rest of us in. So take a deep breath. Because what's so much fun is that you really wanted our perspective on things. And if you want that, we have many different voices, right? Out there that can give you the perspective.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey. So, okay, so...
Scramble.
What is your connection? Yeah. What is your connection to Jamie then? What is this connection that you guys have got?
I am Maitland. I was the entity that channeled through her teacher, Marguerite, and I was the first spirit to trans-channel through Jamie.
And is there any sort of what's the past life connection with you guys then?
Past life connection.
Or what's you guys must have had an agreement for you to come through, surely.
We do have an agreement. She lets me use her body and I take care of it. No, our agreement is that when she decided to make a platform in allowing us to have a voice to the world, that I would be able to work with her. Because in Jamie's belief systems, she believes she's best if she stays at ground level, kindergarten level, play. Her main goal, and if you look at her chart astrologically, now that she knows this, it's all aligned for play and fun. And so to have big spirits that are very ominous and present everywhere with a deep voice, and that, she's to be idolized, it wasn't going to work. So I stayed 9 years old because I choose to stay 9 years old. I don't have to, but I know more than a 9-year-old does. And I work with Jamie, and she feels comfortable with that level, and that's what we do.
Okay, well, firstly, look, just thank you very, very much for coming through now.
Thank you for not having me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No. This is the way it's meant to be. This is the way it's unfolding. Everyone is welcomed. Everyone is welcomed.
That's better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right. What's your reality like where you're at right now? Is it as real as the reality that I'm perceiving?
What do you call real?
Well, I see with my eyes and...
So stuff that you can measure and touch. Because a lot of what I have in my world, so you guys are mostly on like the 0 to 4 dimensional plane, and your bodies are on the 1 to 3 dimensional planes, and that's what you're used to. And your thoughts, your dreams, and some of your astral projections go into other dimensional planes. And when I say dimensional planes, those are all measured in different aspects with different characteristics. And so I'm a multi-dimensional being just like you, but I'm like in a different set of dimensional planes. So my senses and awareness are different than yours. So when you say reality, of course my world is real to me. It's not going to be unreal to me. Why would I be in it? But I don't rely on traditional five senses. We communicate differently where I am. A lot of people like to call where I am as home, or like heaven, or base.
Right.
But we have buildings and we have outdoor space, if you want to call it that. I think it would make more sense to you if I called it outdoor space. And we have animals and we have spirits, and so we have all of that.
And why are you coming through now? What is, apart from Jamie, what is the message you're trying to deliver, if there was one?
I have many messages. Number one, no. I have many messages, and most of it is that it is you've chosen this life, and that being human means you're an emotional being, and that this life is based on variations of love. My encouragement is that we look beyond the spoken language for communication, and we look more into emotional intelligence. And the way that I get people to look at it that way is through fun, play, laughter, silliness. Because when we're laughing, do you know when we're laughing, we don't have another single thought? Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
It's just like that moment of sneezing. Your body has to all be in the sneeze, or the sneeze isn't going to happen.
Right.
But when you're laughing, you're completely present. Nothing else exists. So that's the element, that's the vibration that I like to work with. I like waking people up, reminding them where they came from, reminding them possibility instead of impossibility. You have a lot of possibility.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So one thing that's coming through this documentary a lot, I was saying this to the audience, is the multidimensional aspect.
Multidimensional.
Multidimensional. That there is not just this version of us. There's others, or the idea that we've been here before many times, not just in past lives or future lives, but maybe in this moment in different ways.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't a question. I'm just agreeing with your statement.
Yeah. Well, why is that? Okay, then why is that multidimensional aspect coming through so much? Why are we needing to hear that now in this documentary that I'm doing?
Because it's part of your reality that you're not perceiving well. And so we come through you from higher vibrational or different dimensional planes to give you that information. Because humans are really neat. Once you know the information and you resonate with it, you grow with it. The information that you know that you don't resonate with, you don't grow with. That's what makes you individuals. So we're helping you perceive that there's other dimensional planes. It's important because it's really the true, what do you call it? I would call it depth or breadth, the width. It's the width of a human being. No, it's what you're really made for. What do you call it when, you're made to do it, but you choose not to because you've been told, you haven't been taught about it?
Your calling, your life plan.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, it is an innate ability. It's like the glass. You have a glass, and that's your body. That's the instrument that you work with the whole time. Yeah. And it's a big one. It's a big gulp. It's 44 ounces, a big gulp. But every time that you go to do life, you only get 8 ounces. You get 8 ounces, and you're like, whoo, I got 8 ounces, I'm so full. There's all this other free space, and nothing's happening. So we're over here going, psst, hey, you have more to fill. And so we're showing you other perspectives and realities of what you're experiencing, so that now you're walking away with 16 ounces, 30 ounces, 40 ounces, and you're expanding. But you're not expanding as in stretching your boundaries. You're expanding to fill your boundaries.
What about things that we really want to complete in this life, that we say, well, there's so many choices, I've got this choice I could do, I've got this choice, and I'm really, I want to do them all. I suppose we could try to do them all, couldn't we? If we've got multiple call-ins, in a sense.
You could, but you could always just rely on dying and coming back and doing it again. But you're not there yet with your thinking.
Yeah. Well, we could do.
Not yet.
We could do, but it's almost like, you know, the one thing the one thing I think we're trying to perfect is love. That seems to be the core message from all this.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. How much did I love today, and how loving was I towards myself and others?
But now you're getting into judgments, and judgments aren't part of it.
That's a shame.
But it's hard because when you're human, you do this way, that way, good, bad, did I do enough, how was it? And you do what you call a check-in, but still often the times that you check in, they're really just judgments of yourself, and you're like barricading yourself, even if it's good, like good stuff. I did really good today. You're barricading yourself in the good territory. Or I should have done enough and coulda, woulda, and now you're barricading yourself over here. So it's existing with the abundant amount of love without the need of a retrospective measurement. That's the goal. That's the
no
sweet
judgment.
spot.
No judgment.
Yeah, you don't need the judgment to decide if you were good about it or bad about it, or if you could be different about it.
Okay.
That was self-judgment, as well as judgment of others.
Yeah.
Judgment is low vibrational, and it grounds you, and it's very hard to move through. And it's like you laugh and you lose your judgment, and you soar right through it.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that, what you're saying.
You're welcome.
Yeah, cheers.
How long are you here?
In this life? I don't know. You tell me.
On the clock.
We've got an hour and a half.
Because I'm going to figure out how much time I can stay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's keep you here for another 15 minutes at least.
I would like that even more if
Thank
it was
you.
20.
20 minutes is fine. 20 minutes is fine.
Okay.
What could I ask you that could be really?
You could ask me anything.
I know, and this is
I like to talk about aliens and animals. I really like to talk about animals, and I like to talk about the economy. And I also I like to remind people that the existence of humans really depends on creating the community around you, and not just believing in the neighborhood that you have, but believing in the instant neighbors that you have, and building that community. Because getting through life all by your one self, your lonesome self, is not really the way it's meant to be.
And you mentioned the whole alien thing there, which I'm sure they don't like us calling them that. But even that,
multidimensional beings.
Multidimensional beings, yeah. Even that is we are not. Do you think, right, that basically we create our reality? Is that a truth? Would you say we create our reality?
It is.
So if we create the reality that disclosure is never going to happen, or we're never going to, they don't exist, or we're never going to see one, does that create the reality that that's going to be the case?
Yes, it does.
So when we create the opposite reality, that disclosure will happen in our lifetime, then we're allowing them in. Why is it important for us not to be isolated from the fact that there's others out there? Go ahead.
I would like to state that you're already 50% past of disclosure is not going to happen in this world. Because there's about 30% of the population on Earth that's not even thinking about disclosure at all. Right?
Well,
so then we have
absolutely.
to look at the remaining 70%, and we are way over the half mark. And so it is happening.
Because we choose that reality.
Yes, we're ready for it.
And is that another way of coming together with others that have spiritually evolved in a sense as well, more than we, or?
You mean others as other multidimensional beings not on Earth?
Yeah.
Yes, it is a way. Mm-hmm.
So if we don't do that, then maybe that would be part of our reason we don't make it, in a sense, if we don't embrace that there's more than just us in this universe.
That is very true. But even in saying that, it's kind of like putting the pressure on that you have to go do it. But you will only do that what you need. And that's all you need to do.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Because, see, once you start talking about it, it's almost like a persuasion technique, because people want to be accepted and they do want to be part of a community. And so when they hear somebody else saying, well, this is the way that it's going to happen and this is the way it's going to be done, it's almost like people are pressured into believing that they have to be the one to do it or else it won't get done. And that's a whole different kind of energy altogether. It's like sweet and sour mixed in one flavor. When if you authentically want to do it and it's driven from your needs, we have to get disclosure, then the energy is so high and so powerful, it's worth more than like 10 sweet and sour thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah. But there is a positive side to actually doing it, in a sense, for the overall good as well.
Yes, as long as you authentically desire it yourself.
I don't know if I do. I don't know if I'm that bothered. I don't know why I say that. I'm just, I think we have a lot of present moment issues in our world right now. We have a lot of issues, just, people's issues,
I know what's on your mind. Politics.
Politics. Well, that is one aspect of it, yes. I mean, what we're going through right now with the massive divide that's happened in America.
I like the way you say America.
I know. The UK's fine. We're all good. We don't have Brexit. No, we've got our own issues as well. Yeah, we've got our own issues as well. But this is a global thing, isn't it? I mean, isn't this part of the Great Awakening? My channeling keeps telling me, when I do bother channeling, hang on, is that we're going through a time of great change. Go ahead.
It's my turn.
Yes.
You are right. We are going through a time of great change. That's why we have the kind of politics and the kind of people in control right now. And that's why what you might call the witch hunt is on, but in a different way, more on different topics, that is. And it's needed because I like to explain that when it's like our country, our world has a wound and it got buried up and it got a Band-Aid put on it, and we all believed that it was fine because we were told that it was going to be fine and get better, but it didn't. The wound underneath festered, and so somebody had to come and manually cut it back open so that we could pull all the people out and all of their voices to be heard, whether we deem them positive or negative, because remember, we're not doing the judgment thing on them. Whether we believe in what they're saying or not, because we're not doing the judgment thing on them, that for them to come out and speak their stories and their needs, whether we agree with them or not, so that we can heal from the inside out this time. So we're going to see a lot of things that you might not agree with, or that you might call negative, or that you might call horrible, or the worst. Yeah. But this is not the time for judgment. It's the time for acceptance and to be heard so that we can apply the healing to everybody. And imagine what the enlightenment's going to look like once we do that.
Does the soul want it at a deeper level? Do we want it as souls? I mean, we tend to kind of be addicted to wanting to come back here to have conflict and to have all the things that go on this planet, because it seems like that's the only way for us to have an experience. I mean, are we ready for a world that's completely calm and sober and beautiful?
It'll never be completely calm and completely sober. That's not the vibrations that exist on the 0 to 4 dimensional plane. And that's where Earth resonates the highest. That's where she is the most. There's always going to be duality. But is it going to be as impactful as it is right now? So there's degrees to it, but it won't be absolute bliss. You kind of get that when you die.
Right. Yeah. To me, that seems a bit boring. in a good way, but it just seems to be. I don't personally want that kind of world. I want my life the way it is, or at least a bit more improved. But not without. I was saying to someone here in the crowd earlier on that we go on these spiritual searches sometimes. It's almost like, we have to eliminate certain aspects of ourselves to find this spiritual self, and that's not the case, is it?
No, the Earth, whoops.
It's fine. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's come on.
Beep, boop, like an alligator. It'll be okay right there?
That's fine, yeah, that's cool, yeah.
The wonders about Earth is that you get to come back and be an individual, right? So your experiences all come into your characteristic and your personality and behind your eyes, right? That's the fun thing about Earth, because in other dimensional planes, there's not that distinct sense of being an individual. And when we have so many individuals together, there are going to be some that don't agree with the other one, but that does not have to be a negative experience. And again, we have our duality.
So is a world void of war spiritually progressed?
No.
No.
Boo.
That's a shame. That's such a shame. So, but okay, so if we were void of war, though, what would that be a sign of? If we had no war on this planet to begin with?
It would be a sign of progressed humanitarian and compassion and love.
They sound pretty good qualities.
They're excellent qualities. But war, you're saying it with a negative tone already. With judgment. Oh, I don't like that war. Gotta get rid of that war.
Yeah, I am. Okay.
War has its benefits and its purpose.
Yes, I guess it's just the suffering of others sometimes, which is a bit difficult, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know, is it?
Feels it.
Interesting.
Do you not feel that where you are?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't vibrate in that dimensional plane. Because when people are on Earth and you're suffering or you're having a hard time, yes, I want to help you be where you want to be, but sometimes your suffering and your pain are your greatest teachers. And so if I were to walk around and say, I just can't have any suffering and pain, and I healed it all, or I rerouted you so that you wouldn't have it and life was easy and great and good, and then you missed out on those great teachers and lessons and understanding of the great, expansive, like vibrational qualities that you have on Earth. So in your suffering and your pain, I do not feel it. That does not mean that I don't experience it. I'm not a human being. I'm different.
Okay. Yeah, okay, and yeah. And there was another question there I was just going to ask you at the tip of my tongue. It's gone. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be. Where you exist then, we've all been before?
Yes.
Are we there now?
Each and every one of you. Yes, you are, because your higher consciousness, that's what you guys call it, they're up here with me.
Yeah, that we're there now.
So,
that's what I was going to say. That actually, what I always preach as well, sometimes what I preach but say, is that if we want to change the world, change yourself. The only way you're going to improve the world is not on a global scale, but is internally. It's internal disclosure.
Yes, it is. Especially with this thing. There's so much importance that you put on the human brain. If I took all that importance and I relocated it to your emotions, wow. The progress you would make, the opening you would do, it's just incredible.
So what's the one thing at the space that you're at, and our portion of us are at as well? We're all in the energy that you're from.
At home.
At home, yeah. As you say, some people personify it as heaven. What's the one piece of information you could give to us right now in this moment that would be of real benefit to us?
Well, that you can access home. Though you're not stuck in your body. Your incarnation in your human body doesn't have to be lived its entire life inside, trapped in the body. You exist beyond your skin. You have an energetic body, it's way bigger than you. You think your soul could fit into the thing that you walk around in? No, thank you. It's much bigger. And the layers of light that shine off of you, they're all attached and corded to your higher self that then feeds all your other incarnations. You have access to all of you at any given moment.
So on the level that you're on then, is there information that's so seismic that's never been brought through before, that the bringing it through would change our understanding of everything in a sense, but we're just not ready for it?
There's a lot of that, yes. There's many, many small bites that are huge for the human to bring into their belief system and then use it in their belief system. You have to use it. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
There's several things that we believe in,
yeah,
but we don't ever really use it.
Right. Yeah. Which,
And we release some of those here and there. But it's such an individual journey for everybody. No matter if you're exactly like the person next to you or you've been married forever and you're just psychically connected, it's still an individual journey. It's your brain.
but there is only one in this room. We may seem separate right now, but we are all one.
Mm-hmm.
So you are me, and I am you.
Yes.
Having different incarnational experiences in this moment right now.
Yes.
So it's almost like I'm speaking to my higher self then.
Yes. But it's like that when you're speaking to another person too.
Right. Well, how many other people are you communicating to in this way?
Thousands. Tens of thousands.
Is anybody else using the word channeling you? Is anybody else bringing you through in this form?
Yes. And can I clarify your question, because the quality of your question equals the quality of your answer?
Okay, sure.
When you're talking about that, you're probably thinking the mindset of this timeline, like right now, but I'm thinking across all timelines because time is not linear. So is that still okay answer?
That's a pretty cool answer.
Okay.
That's a pretty cool answer. Can we channel the aspect of ourselves that has already crossed over?
Yes! Yes, you can.
And would we be able to improve our present moment life?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
By getting bits of information of what we achieved and what we could have made better?
Yes.
I'm getting it, aren't I?
Yes.
Are you happier now?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So, how many people on this planet are doing that, do you think? Channeling the part of them that's already crossed over?
It's flat tire.
Oh.
Even the real spiritual people. Because you know what they're doing? They're still stuck in the human mindset that there is someone who is wiser than them that is going to teach them. Because that's been your only experience as coming into this world. You're a baby. Somebody brings you into this world and somebody says, I will take care of you. I know better. I know how to feed you. And you're taken care of. And then you go to school and you have a teacher that knows more than you. And then you have a professor that knows more than you. And then you have a boss that knows more than you. Yeah. And so we're just kind of indoctrinated into the idea that when you're going to learn something or expand something, it's going to come from something source above you. A god, a guru, a goddess, a Gaia. Yeah. You know, but it's you. Like when people are doing this on camera, what's the easiest way for them to know how to be better on camera?
To review it.
To watch it themselves.
Yes.
And they see themselves and they go, ooh, I'm not going to lick my lips like that next time. Mm-hmm. That looks silly. I'm not going to sit like that. I'm not going to do that. You know, and so they learn. But spiritually, we're not even taught to access our higher self or our other incarnations, and it's not even nudged to you as an idea to look at your other lives to kind of learn from it. But you have the loose concept, right? That incarnations, that we have lessons and we learn those lessons and we build on those lessons, and if I didn't get them right, I get to do them again and all that. But why are you leaving them in this other lifetime?
So if we access even this future aspect of ourselves that's already crossed over, we're improving the future aspects of our lives and the past lives as well. They all improve simultaneously?
Yes.
They all heal?
Yes.
So then our past lives and future lives must be affecting this present moment now?
Yes, they are. Isn't that neato mosquito?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a big concept right now. It's a big thing to not to take in, but to to get your head around. Again, the multidimensional aspect of this whole thing that's been coming out.
It's baby steps.
It's baby steps.
Because when you do your spiritual practice, it's going to require you to change your belief systems and your perspective.
So to speak to my future self, or anyone that's watching this, for them to speak to their future selves, it's a case of what? Going into meditation and just waiting for a voice, your own voice that's wiser than you, to come through to answer a question?
You just did it right there. Another voice, wiser than you. You are my authority figure. You must teach me.
I don't mean it like that. No. Yeah, but you know that it's that part of you that's just minus this crap that's here sometimes. That gets in the way.
if you wanted to reach out to the other parts of you, it does require a meditative state of mind. That doesn't mean that you have to learn trance channeling, doesn't mean you have to be a trance meditator, transcendental meditation. It simply means there is a quietness in your head. And for those of you who haven't found it, it's that point of the hypnagogic state of being where before you fall asleep or when you wake up, you're kind of in a loose mindset, but your body is calm and fed and feels good. And it's in that space that you allow awareness. And that's the first step. Just allow awareness in. We don't need to flip the switch on belief or perspective right away because it's not going to have a lot of power behind it.
Right.
Awareness will power it. And when we allow awareness that I have other selves of me wanting to share information, that then if you provide that space can look like whatever you want, Kevin. It doesn't have to be something specific that we require. And the information that comes in can come in through vocal, images, emotions. They can come in however you want. It's tapping into all of your parts. So you have to start the awareness to then know how the conversation is going to be had and how the information will come in.
So are you channeling your future self sometimes, or aspects of your...
Yes, so I stay with my name, Maitland, because I liked that incarnation that I had on Earth, and that's the one I connect to the most. But I have all my other incarnations on Earth and not on Earth, still rolling around in all my energy.
What's one that affects you the most?
Well,
Is there
then
one
me is
specific?
Maitland.
Right.
As Maitland. Oh, but you mean like the other one?
Well, if there was
Another
any,
one?
if there was any others, maybe that also affected you the most, then. Like
I've had a few that kind of jump up every now and then. I have one where I'm a boy and I'm living in Ireland, and I have a very itchy hat that I don't like, and my mom makes me wear it all the time. But that's not the thing that feeds me. It's the to listen to my place. When I was in Ireland, I did not have a lot of money, and it was very hard for my family. And we were farmers, and I did not want to be a farmer. And so it was very disappointing that I did not like my life at all. And when my mother died, I decided to take my own life.
Okay. Okay.
That one comes up because it reminds me that not that life is not precious, but that I create my story. And I had none of that teaching and none of that learning in my Ireland life. And if I had that, I would have created my own story. I did not need to leave early. Not at all.
Well, thank you.
And I could have bought a new hat.
Right, yeah. Yeah, absolutely you could. No, seriously, thank you for sharing that story. That's...
You're going to tell me my time is up.
I am. Yes. But I know that we'll speak again. Do you know that?
Oh, I do know that because I'm going to be all over you.
Thank you.
And if you're missing something, you don't have to blame Erik all the time. I like to take things too, but I return them. I don't make them disappear. I just put them somewhere else. And I do that because sometimes you need to slow down. Hey, Kevin. Sometimes you need to slow down. Okay.
I hear you. Thank you. And thank you for coming through as well.
You're welcome. I'll see you later, alligator.
See you later.
That's not how you do it. This is how you do it. I'll see you later, alligator.
In a while, crocodile.
I'll see you soon, baboon.
Not too soon, Batman.
Hasta mañana, iguana.
Bye, butterfly.
Tulu, kangaroo.
Eat your food, Gertrude.
Gertrude's not an animal. Got a jog warthog. What's that?
Got a
That one. That's my favorite. We're stopping there. Hi. I like the kitty cat one, Segura. Jarvis says hi. More healing, more healing, more healing. Gonna send more people to you. Train. Shit. That's not right.
No?
You have to tell her that's not
I
right.
will. She was moaning about it earlier on.
The fuck, man?
Yeah, she's going to get it sorted out tomorrow, I think.
Ugh.
It's good to have you here. I think this is Erik, isn't it?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man. Pleased to have you here. I've been waiting for this part for a while, not really knowing what was going to happen.
And you didn't write me any love letters or anything.
Well, maybe in my head I did, as a thank you.
My pining friend
Yeah.
on Earth. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
Where have you been? When will we meet next? Is it under the lamppost? I'll be the man with the red carnation.
Oh, dude, it is a bit like that. Yeah.
What's up?
Well, I want to let you start.
Who are these people?
I know, isn't it beautiful? All these beautiful souls that have come here to be here right now, to be part of this.
Done on purpose, my friend.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, well,
I really
snapshot. Remember these people.
do. And I'm going to be going to see your mum.
Oh, yes,
in a
you
few
are.
days.
She's like next on your hit list.
Christ, where am I going next? I think you might be right, actually. Yes, she actually is. Yes. Yeah, as one of the main next channelers. Yeah. So, I know you're going to be there.
Absolutely.
I know that she's really pleased about, what you've been able to do for her and stuff, and just the information that you've brought through. It's helped so many people. How's Mum doing right now?
Like everybody who has lost a child, she has her highs and her lows. She's doing good.
She's doing good.
Yeah.
Was that in her life plan, do you think? I don't know too much about the backstory.
No, totally. We agreed before I came in. And I was pretty smart to pick that family, as they would support me and everything that I needed to do.
Yeah.
But, the rest of the story, like that chicken noodle soup dude.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. But, like, my mom and what she's doing now is the rest of my story.
Yeah.
And so we needed to pair up like that before I came in to make sure that we were both going to be able to do what we needed to do with our lives. So.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just gone on, like I say, just to help so many people and people, parents who have lost people, people through suicide as well. So I just think it's, there's so much information that's coming out right now, isn't there?
Not enough. Need more, right? Where's my fix? I need more.
Well, that's my last name, so that's a good start. But yeah, we do need more. Yeah, okay. No, I would agree with you there. I think there's more channelers coming out into the world. I think there's more people with skills and
Dude, there's more people with cameras, man. There's more people with internet. That's what's happening.
yeah.
It's not like there's more channelers. It's just, we have more brave people putting it out on camera.
Okay, that's
We've
also,
got two in here that are already doing that.
Yeah, that's so true. Yes. No, that is true. How many channels do you think there's in the world? I mean, really. Do you think there's? If we're a channel, then public channelers. How many do you think there is? Are there thousands?
Is this a fucking trick question?
I don't know. No, it's not a trick question. I've got this doctor coming on soon, and he reckons there's like 10,000 channelers. I'm like, okay.
Okay, there's a really low number. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Is he talking, dude, be very clear. Is it trans channeling? Is it like this? Is it like this?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't.
Or,
yeah. I
you
can't
know-
remember. It was a quote in his book, and I'm going to ask him about it when I see him. But
Tell him to get back in the lab.
I will do. I will do. Yeah. What? Okay then. Why now? What is so important about this time right now?
To raise people's vibrations to stay on the same level that the earth is doing. That's like boiling it down in like a nutshell.
Mother Nature's raising. Gaia's raising.
Yeah. She's changing. The whole evolution, her shift of poles. Dude, you remember like a few years ago, everybody's like figuring out what Xanax is and everything because of their anxiety attacks?
Right.
That's just highly sensitive people not being in tune with their energy and having the big planet that they live on totally change its beat. It's growing. We're all evolving. But you people are trained, like Maitland was just saying, fucking love her, that she said, what was she saying? You're indoctrinated to believe that you can't learn something, right, unless somebody bigger is teaching you. And so sometimes the masses forget to look to see if there's an upgrade. Like we don't have Mac like sending us an email, upgrade your iPhone now. Upgrade your iCloud, upgrade your email, upgrade. Right, so we do that with our technology, but we don't do it with our own energy. Why is that? Right, that sounds messed up, doesn't it? Nope, we're just not going to tend to it. We're just going to live. We're just going to live in this body. It's just going to grow. We're just going to take it. Stop taking it.
How many times have we taken it? How many times have we been doing this for?
Oh my God. Long time.
Long time.
Long time. I think the last moment, let's see, and we're going to look in the past, right? Like time is linear.
Yeah.
I would say before the Greeks. I would get in there. And then I say we almost hit it in the Renaissance era, like when art got good. You know, because art, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it got real good. Yes.
They got naked is what it got. But like we started to value it and opened up different parts of the brain. We showed appreciation for sound, harmony, music. And so that started working with our energy. And so that gave us another boost. But really in discipline, I would say it would be back with the Greeks, where life moved much slower. We spent time alone. We spent time like enjoying the food and fruitation of the earth and the human body. I was like, tell me someone right now that does that. Oh, what'd you do today? Oh, I went home and I enjoyed the food, the fruitation of the earth, and I enjoyed my body. Yeah?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
No. We're lost in that sense, aren't we?
Right, so we meditate, right?
Right.
Meditation. Meditation. Most of the human race goes, meditation, like it's in here. I gotta calm my head, I gotta calm my thoughts, I gotta do my thought, I gotta do my... Well, what happened to like meditation here? Can't touch this area, so I'm just gonna hang out here. What happened to heart-centered space? Right, that's not really a part of modern day definition of meditation. So I'd like to get back to where we were, that really provided introspect with people.
Well, what is that? Just so we can get down to the nitty gritty. What is that heartfelt? You mean closing your eyes and just going into a quiet space, or you're talking about what do you mean by heartfelt?
No, it doesn't have to be like, oh, 1 o'clock, time to make the donuts. That's not going to be funny to you, by the way, but it's funny to us.
Okay. I'll catch on, don't worry.
It's a really old commercial.
Right.
But, you know, I want, when we're getting back to the basics, it's every existing moment you're digesting comes with that, it's 1 o'clock, it's time to make the meditation. So it's in your dishes, it's in your vacuuming, it's in your driving of the car, it's in your talking to a stranger, it's in your head talking to yourself. You know, so there's a switch that comes on that you've done your discipline, you're meditating this time at this day, right? And then we're like, oh, I've kind of hit a plateau, right? Like I've been doing my meditation, but what the fuck, nothing's really happening. I haven't like gained powers, can't move shit across the room. What's going on? So let's take this meditation and let's start morphing it and stretching it to fit over the entire existence of the day. You know, what does that look like? Because now you're demanding that your brain function and your heart function get on the same page. You raise its vibration and you're experiencing life that way. And when we start experiencing life that way, guess what? More acceptance, more compassion, more love. Isn't that what we were talking
That's
about
what
with...
we were talking about, more love, yeah. And more love for ourselves and others?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Is that what we're here, is that one of the primary things we're here to do is to learn to love ourselves?
Primary thing, yeah.
The primary thing. Learn to love our decisions, learn to love...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, it's so rude of me, man. Go ahead.
No, dude, it's fine, go ahead.
When you say learn to love ourselves, you said our decisions, and you
Yes.
started like picking apart the self, right?
Yeah.
Well, I want to remind people that when you're looking at self, you're looking at your energy. And when you're looking at your energy, in essence, you're looking at everybody else's energy. And it's hard for the human brain to comprehend maybe all the people that just live in your house,
Yeah.
let alone the animals and the insects out in your yard, right?
Right.
How about trying to comprehend all the people in your county, your state, your region, your country, the world? Like, that's like, what?
And that's all us.
It's all us.
All one.
Yeah, so taking care of self first means all of us first.
Well, that just makes so much sense, don't it? Do you know what I mean? It makes so much sense, but is that self? I mean, some say put others first, you put yourself first. Put yourself first, you put others first. It's kind of paradox. But you're saying put yourself first.
Yeah, you have to put self first. Listen, if I put somebody else first, immediately as I'm putting somebody else first, I am deciding that I am not first. Like, I'm already creating separation.
Yeah.
So if I'm consciously letting somebody in front of me, I'm putting myself in a secondary place. Right there. If I'm putting self first, I'm not excluding anything. We're all going first.
But
Now-
that doesn't mean an unkindful act, though. I mean,
Oh, hell no.
No.
I mean, if we look at it in terms of like, I'm opening the door for you, you go first, and then I cut you off, and I'm like, me first, actually. Then I'm being rude, like, I'm not talking like that straight,
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
But when I'm talking in life and I'm caring for myself, I have to do it here first. I cannot do it for the other person.
Right. Thank you for that. Thank you. I think that's really important to get on the documentary as well. And, just going back to, without being like a broken record, but this idea that we're all one. Being where you have been and being where you are right now, we are where you're at, aren't we? There's an aspect of us that's already where you're at.
Yes.
Yeah. What is this? What is this reality we're having now? What could you tell us that this is, that this experience that we're having right now?
Life?
Yeah, but
You wanted a deeper...
please.
Well, it's a slice of life that you have decided to co-create with all the other oneness that you are and to experience. And it's to better oneself.
Why wasn't we better before we came down here? Why wasn't the aspect of us that's non-incarnated human form perfect already?
But that's the thing. It is. It already is.
It just had nothing better to do on a Saturday night.
He couldn't get laid.
Right. I'd come down here for that. Right. But it's all good stuff.
I'd be the one pushing you.
Right,
Don't worry.
okay, yeah, thank you.
Oh, it's you don't need this.
We don't need this.
No, it is not a requirement.
So why are we addicted to coming down here then? But
Why do you think you're addicted?
Well, it can be kind of addictive, can't it?
Well, I think so, yeah.
Mm.
I think it's addictive because Earth has the duality.
Okay. So if we're addicted to being here, or we don't have to have this experience, we're still here, aren't we? We showed up to have it.
Does it piss you off that there's not a purpose for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it does a bit, yeah. Because I'm thinking, well, wouldn't it be nice to have some other? No, actually, no. I do honor this. I actually do enjoy this human experience. I've got to say that.
It's good to enjoy it. It's good to love it. It's good to It's good to experience it. But at the same time, it's not needed for you to be you. And that's hard. People, as humans, we use judgment, and we decide what we've done is good or bad, right? And then after we get that down, anything that has gone wrong, we naturally find a reason of why it's okay that it's wrong. So if I died short, there had to be a reason to it, right?
Right.
And the reason is that I'm doing all this teaching. So we always look for the meaning or the reason behind the action. So that's a human quality, though. That's how your brain functions, because it's how you were taught to think. That's all it is. Most of the shit that you're going through is because you were taught to think that way.
So someone in this lifetime who never is going to have a spiritual experience, never is going to look into any of these subjects, is just going to cross back home with seemingly never having ever needed this, or his life was brilliant in his perspective without it. Well, is it that the case at all? Because it just seems that there's a lot of souls who won't come to this level of understanding, or is that what they've chosen to have in this life, the forget-me-not of never remembering?
The forget-me-not. That's actually very useful.
Thank you.
A little bit. The person who never researches and gets into this, they still have their experiences that help you be the person that you are, so that you have this sense of what I'm experiencing is new. What I'm experiencing is for the first time, and I've never done this before, and it enlightens another part of your life or your thinking or who you are. And all of that is valuable to you. Is it necessary? No, because you can do that shit where we are.
But maybe on their last breath, unbeknown to us, their last breath in this life, maybe that's when they had their awakening.
It could have been.
We'll never know, would we?
Never
on this
know.
level. But they could have been just that millisecond, which would have been a lifetime's worth of
They're
awakening.
like, this whole thing was a prank?
Right. It is a bit like that, yeah. But again, bringing it back to where we are now in this reality, this is a critical time that we've come here for, and it's a time of a great awakening, isn't it? I keep saying this like a broken record. I just want to bring it back to that.
Because you need some reassurance, my friend. It is the time of a great awakening. Earth is changing its vibrations. The majority of the people are changing vibrations. Because the majority is changing, now we're going to get that new science, the connection to energy and to the beyond, because we're reaching a mass level where we don't have to wait 100 years for information to come out. It's hitting internet, it's hitting all the people who are awakened, and they're going to talk about it to people who aren't awake. And what I mean by awake and not awake is that when you're a person who is sensitive to energy, you can communicate to it, however you want to call communication, and you can connect to it, then you're awake, right? It doesn't have to be like you talking to dead people, now you're awake. No. Or you have some spiritual belief and that's it, you're awake. No. This is a true connection to energy. So it used to be that when science found out things, when people were enlightened and found out things, nobody can get the information. We just couldn't get it out there. Now we can get it out there. We have technology. Now it's just like blowing our minds. And now you're finding that these really cool things have like different names in every culture. And now we're going to have people who are putting the dots together, going, that culture is doing it, this culture is doing it, unbeknownst to each other. This is what's being found, this is what's doing, this is what, and we're going to link it together. And this is going to help us come together as a world, not just a nation, not just tiny people in a tiny place.
There's an energy to this time right now. It's almost like we're able to. It wants us to go bigger than we've gone before, and
But
become.
that's not for everybody. You're feeling it.
Mm,
And that's why you're asking questions.
mm,
But there are some people here, they don't feel like the need to go big. They feel the need to go in and to expand, like just to fill in that gap. The big gulp gap? The big gulp gap. Oh shit, we got something here. The phenomena of the big gulp gap.
yeah, that inner disclosure. What I was saying earlier on. Yeah, yeah.
Right? But you have full, and now you're ready to go big out into the world. But not everybody's having that calling. But what we're finding is people who are spiritually enlightened that are all inclusive. That's a big ass statement. All inclusive. Like, could you really wrap your head around that? Like I was telling you to wrap around, all the people in the world are one with you. All inclusive.
Yeah, it's huge.
Are coming out and creating communities, creating networks, creating spaces. We're going to be living in the way where we are growing, feeding, healing, and protecting our energy. No longer is it going to be just about the physical body, just about survival. It's going to be about a living experience.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I always want to ask you a crazy question, so I'm going to ask you it.
Do it.
Yeah. Is there the chance that we've done this before, this life, but we're doing it in a different way right now?
If we've done this life before, there's a yes. And if we've done it in a different way. So is the question like, can I be Kevin like 1,000 times over and do a similar kind of a Kevin?
Or something, it'd be different, wouldn't it? It'd
Yeah.
be different. It would never be the same.
It would never be the same. So you're looking at like consciousness, which is like the conductor of the energy of your being. Okay?
Yeah.
Is that cool? We can run with that?
Yeah.
And so you're saying, my consciousness, I pick Kevin Moore. That's where we're going. So consciousness goes, all right, we're dividing, but every division is a whole in and of itself. Goes in as Kevin. So in our linear minds, we immediately think Kevin is singular still, because that's the way we like to think. People are singular. When you see them on the street, you just see one of them, unless you're high. And then maybe you see like a shadow and then another version, and then there's a few of them. So we have that, and we're manifesting that existence. But at the same time, because it's your consciousness that's created by your focus, every decision that you make or could have made kind of peels out, right? So do I want to brush my teeth or do I not want to brush my teeth? Okay, I'm going to brush my teeth, but my don't want to brush my teeth version just forked off. And it's going to fork off, and it's going to exist for as long as it can until my orchestrated consciousness no longer feeds it the energy to exist, and it's going to go. You with me?
No, that's deep. That's kind of deep. How long would you keep that? Yeah, but if your concentration on that, on that part of the reality that could have happened, should have happened.
That one is not like a really good fucking example because I don't want to brush my teeth. Fine, so
Yeah.
like it lives for linear time, like 15 minutes. But let's say, do I marry this girl or not?
Right, there's a life choice.
I've been dating her for 5 years. I'm engaged to her. I'm about to walk down the aisle. Do I do that shit or not?
Right.
And so I decide not to. But there's a part of me that followed through. Forks in the road with every conscious decision. But then 10 years down the road, I'm like, wow, what would it have been like if I married her? Would we have had children? Does she still look good? That kind of a thing. So 10 years down the road, I'm still thinking about it. So parallel life of me not married and me married are still existing.
So it never started off in its own reality before that. It only starts off at the split of making a choice. It was never in existence before that.
Right. So we don't have you, Kevin Moore, with 1,000 other Kevin Moores that started off simultaneously, boom, dropped in, rah, let's go.
Yeah.
It was one, and then from the moment you were born, you're like, do I like these people or not?
Because
The
we
energy
create our
splits.
reality.
Because we create it every moment. That's why it's
Every
so
moment.
fucking important to stay in the moment. Chewbacca.
So then that's the key to this all, isn't it? That we if we could just go from that space of we create our reality, we would be things would change overnight, wouldn't it? If we just had that truth in us that I've created this, so only I can change it.
Yeah. And his light bulb goes off. Bing!
Right. Yeah, I'm getting it.
But it's really hard to like get that visual around because there's so many moving parts to think of.
Right.
And our brain goes, oh shit, that's too much to think of. We can't do this. Shut it down, shut it down. Stay simple, my friend, stay simple. So we go back to, I'm just one thing and I'm an individual and I'm separate from everybody else. And ho hum, this is my life. Put up my fence. Right, so we get caught up in that our brain can't keep up with what is actually happening. Our brain, believe it or not, as complex as it is, can't hold all of it. That's why it's so valuable to check into other incarnations of self, higher self, see what the hell's going on.
And that which has already crossed over.
Yeah, you tap into it.
Yeah, tapping into yourself that's already passed over, that's already lived this life.
Yeah.
And getting information from it and saying to it, maybe show me something I need to see now that will help me in the present moment now.
Yeah,
Yeah?
you got it.
Okay.
You win.
Thank you.
Quick, get the trophy. Put his name on it.
I did it.
First place.
First place, yeah. No, I don't need first place. That's really
Most
cool.
memorable.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really amazing. Okay, well, and that's something that will I'm going to try to do, and
Great.
I think we should all try to do.
Don't we have questions out here?
We do. I want one final thing with you though. Why did you come through and give me that message about the foundation, about the new religion?
Because I had to lay a seed. You wouldn't do it unless the thought was a bit scary. Scary motivates you. Dude, everybody has their kinky shit, so I'm not even gonna. No.
Yes, it does actually. Yeah,
But
maybe it does.
you know, and that's big. But you're right. We don't have the word for it. I don't mean it in a classic sense of religion that somebody is going to be idolized and worshipped. But what I mean is that, and we've been sharing this with other channelers, people are bringing information into the light. You know that what's happening is traditional religions aren't getting the same backing that they used to. Maybe financially, but the emotional support, right? The belief support, it's going. You're sensing it. Communities are falling apart because the church used to be the center of it. And then YMCA was like, well, we'll come in. Now we have community centers for kids and families now. But even that is like, well, I guess, but it's not really working. There's a spiritual core. And even the word spiritual doesn't fit, so well. Wish we'd be like Prince and we can just like make a symbol. And that's who we are. He got it, He got it. So it's creating a place like that where people can come to do their worship, their faith, their belief system in their own way without a single judgment from any other being in the same space that they are in. It is the ultimate unconditional love worship. That's what it is. And it's happening through channeled messages like this. That's how we're kickstarting it. We're kickstarting it.
But you wouldn't. You don't think it should. Yeah, you don't like the word religion, do you?
I don't.
No. Nor I'm not a major fan. So why did you come through for that message for me? That was the word. Had we agreed upon something before that time and space that you were going to come through and give me that message? I mean,
yes, because you were going to do it yourself and you didn't do it yourself, so you needed the swift kick in the head. So we had to fly some people in, kick you in the head, leave, and it was all good. I say it lightly, but it was to lay a seed. And it's something that you agreed to do before you came here.
And
Look at all the other paths you could have chosen, Kevin. What the fuck, man?
I ask myself that all the time.
You ended up here because there's something bigger than you here.
I can't get away from the challenge.
It's wonderful and scary and exciting, and you're going to keep climbing that mountain until you build a place for other people to come and climb with you.
I would like that very much. I would like that. It just for me, it's like, has a foundation got the same power as calling something a religion? But yet it's the connotations of what the religion means.
Let's call it a lifestyle. It's a way of being.
I like that. Yeah, that's nice. A lifestyle.
It should be part of life anyway. It is part of life.
It is part of life. Okay. I'm going to let you have a word with the audience now. But okay. Shit, man. Okay. Then I suppose I'm going to speak to you in the next few days. But
Every night in your dreams, baby.
Erik, are you there? Okay. Well. Okay. All right. I'll just accept it like I've kept accepting this path, and I'll just go with the flow. But it feels right.
You know, Kevin, part of being blind is the motivation of it. Right? If I laid down your entire path, where's your motivation to walk it?
No, it's not going to be there, is it?
No.
And I'll just say, as I realised, that's why I got channeling.com. I realised that, and I realised that's why I was doing the documentary, because it's going to show the transparency and birth of this. Subtle, right? Okay.
You got it.
Well, thank you. Well, if anyone's got any questions, I'm sure there'd be one or two questions.
Pass the mic.
Yeah, so if I pass this to anyone that wants to ask a question.
Hit it, Joel.
I have something to kind of sit there.
Yeah.
We'll hit you. State your name, your phone number, your address, blood type, and social security. Go.
Oh, Eric. Well, my name's Lila. And I just thought of something as I was listening to both Maitland and you speak about our higher selves. Something that, Jamie has really been working with people to do is learning about their guides. Well, are our guides part of our higher selves? What is that? Like, how does that fit into this?
Nope, for your human brain, I'm going to say no, just for clarity purpose. But again, awesome. We all are one. So when we are looking at guides and multidimensional beings, right, that we're all energetically connected and made from the same thread or blanket, whatever the thing is. But guides are, air quote, independent thinkers than your higher self.
So do they exist, I don't want to say above, do they exist on a different level than our higher selves, maybe?
Well, there are other entities that will be on different dimensional planes than where your higher self resides. And not every person's higher self resides in the same place.
Okay.
So right there, we've got variety. And I don't want anybody here now to go, oh, fuck variety. So level 10 is better than level 1, and start doing the good, bad thing, and I better get my shit together and all that. But different dimensional planes provide different qualities and characteristics, and that might be the shit that you're working with. That might be what you like to reside in. So that's all it is. Like will attract like. This is not a good, bad story.
Okay, cool. Anyways,
Shep, don't let me down, man.
I don't even know what to ask.
Sure you do.
You want to go first? Okay. Hey, my name is Sheb. As far as the question goes, I'm totally blank right now. This documentary that you're doing is bringing light to a lot of the changes that's going on in the world. So I want to give thanks to you for that.
Thank you very much.
I know this is way out of your comfort zone and it's totally, random, but this is where we are and this is what we need to do. Man, I got so many questions. Okay. As far as, well, she kind of touched on it. I'm so nervous right now. Why am I nervous?
No,
You
don't
have
be,
a-
brother, don't be. It's all good, man. It's all good.
His heart is beating so fast it could
I
run.
don't even know where to even start.
It could run a marathon. What do you want to know, man? Like when you're looking at your own life and
Okay,
and
so
how
I
you
talked to you.
influence
I got it,
others.
okay.
Like it's like brother to
So,
brother.
I remember I called in to a show that you did, and I was the first person to get through. Did you plant a seed for me too to start the class that you said I would start for emotional awareness, young teenagers and young adults? Is that like already happening? How close is that to happening? Because I'm ready to meet more of my spirit group and get ball rolling too.
Who 2018. I just needed your brain on the page. I needed you to start writing the story in your head, manifesting it already, so that when the people showed up, it made sense to you. Because you meet people that you love and you adore, several of them here, but you're like, all right, I'm going to go home now. So
Come together.
now it's going to come together.
2018.
Yes. I got a few 2018s in here. I got Meta, Sagrera. I got my eye on you guys.
Thank you, E. Appreciate that.
Hi, I'm Meta. I'm at a place as a therapist that once I've opened up to this work for myself about 17 years ago and then expanded it here in Atlanta with Jamie about 5 years ago. It's amazing what happens in the room with people, and so many people coming and talking about wanting to find a place and a space to explore meaning and purpose and connection that isn't being filled by religion or community in some of the traditional ways. So I'm so excited about what Jamie's doing and what you're doing. My question is also kind of coming from my own. Once I found this type of information, my anxiety decreased, my joy and my life changed.
It's
It was
beautiful.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fears growing up, which now I understand had to do with not getting what I was doing during the night in my dreams. I had a lot of nightmares. I had a lot of questions that weren't being answered. I have a 10-year-old daughter who has the same gift that I do. And I have all this great information, and I'm able to share some of it with her for sure. And she's still struggling a lot with the nightmares and going to sleep. And I'm just wondering what else I could say or do. How much of it is the suffering that is part of her learning, of
Yeah.
how do I find that line of I've got this information in this way that's so great, and she's receptive, but she's still suffering, and how much,
All right, Mamacita.
Hi.
All right, it's time to start making some music. Dude, so we look at your daughter who's highly gifted, highly sensitive people, like across the board. Sometimes nighttime is your worst nightmare. No pun intended, please. But the lights go off, your subconscious comes up, and it is going through all your other lives. Because you're highly sensitive, right? That little, I want to see what my next incarnation's doing, is just literally like a beep, drop away, just right there. And so often when we go to sleep, our vibrations rise up. And so we're not really looking into the world of imagination. We're not stuck in a third dimensional plane. We're diving into other lifetimes. And sometimes our kids are going to fight in the battle back in the 1600s every night, again and again and again. Or they're flying through space in 2300, again and again and again. And so we have to get them to where when their body is shutting down and their vibrations are going skyrocket, which they're already high, that it's like looking at a gifted person, psychically gifted. And we need to give them some of the tools, the mantras. And you've been so well in teaching her how to communicate. Bam, number one. Nailed it. That is huge. Now we have the tools, the little things that she can touch. You've done that. bam. So crystals, like instruments, tools that you can link stories to, safety, security, routines, things of that nature. Now let's get into the power of words and a song. If you can create music, create a song together, which is a bit like a prayer, a mantra, something that's said over and over and over again, that can keep that vibrational like hood, the human limit to it, so that when they fall asleep, they can hit the glass ceiling in a good way this time, enjoy the rest, so that their lives can exist to happen in all the other incarnations, and they're not flipping around in them, and they can stay contained in this one. But give them access when they need to leave that space to experience something greater than. Anything that we're teaching ourselves and our kids need to have no limitation. They need to morph, be fluid, and grow, but be strong. So can you imagine water running down a river, totally fluid, scoop it up in a cup, you can drink it, you can like burn it and it's up into steam. But when you need it to be solid, it's solid. Boom, it's frozen. All right, so it's going to stay frozen, so I got a hard edge here. This is a hard boundary. Can't get through it. But then when you need it to change, you heat up and it melts, and you're right through it when you need it. Songs for kids and people work really well. If you look down in the past, other cultures, they do this. They sing around the campfire. They really build and install this power into the person. So let's start this route.
Thank you. It's really helpful. Thank you.
I'll bring my tambourine. I'm good at a tambourine.
Hi, Erik. Rebecca. And
That's my mom from another lifetime right there. Dude, I can't. Am I wired to anything? Am I good? Am I good?
oh,
Really? Oh. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Oh, you got a mic. Beautiful. Not that I'm ditching you, but
were we brother and sister or sister?
brother and brother.
Brother and brother. So I want to know,
Yeah.
were we set up? Was it a setup?
Yes.
I mean, with me
I know
watching-
exactly what you're talking about. And hell yes, it was a setup. Every time you tell the story, I laugh my ass off. Because you're like, well, I don't know. And it was like a coincidence. And, we're over there like, bitch, that took some time to put together.
So the story is we channeled,
Yeah.
but how we got to, she's the channeler and I do the interviewing. But I started watching Erik's mother sessions with Jeannie, and for months I would watch them. And so I came to visit Burnett, and I was watching, and she came downstairs. Well, I was watching the Shiny Show. I had moved to the Shiny Show.
Isn't that cool? Shout out, Shiny Show.
And,
Love you guys.
I was watching the Shiny Show one night, and she came downstairs, and she started watching too, and she said, I can do that. Oh, wow. And I said, yes, you can. And then Erik pops in.
Wow.
But see, you don't get it. This woman right here, this beautiful soul, like she comes from everything that is religion.
Right.
Whole entire family,
Right.
whole belief system, entire family. You tell a story later to him, you'd
Wow,
get a
that's
kick out
going
of
to be
it.
an interesting story, yeah.
Right? And then all of a sudden, clouds pull away. You're like, whoa, religion, there's something else, and it's greater, and they all get along.
Yes. Yes.
And you can moderate that. It's like so fucking beautiful that you give equal love and attention to all those, it's just
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And so for your daughter to do the work, that makes sense.
Yeah.
For you to host it and give it that all-inclusive, man, that's what we need out there.
It's special, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of felt like we weren't really prepared. You know what we're talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
When we first started doing the sessions, I thought it was going to be lighthearted like The Shiny Show. And lo and behold, we got, the first person was a former slave. Oh, no. And it was really very heavy because, yeah, we weren't pretty.
And so was the next one, the next one, the next one. Not just former slave, but people, spirits in places that needed help. It's like the reverse. So many people think, oh, spirits are here to help us, right?
It's their healing
Yes.
as well. It's their healing. Yeah,
It goes
yeah.
back and forth, my friend.
Yeah, as you even connect to your higher self and do that, you're connecting to past aspects and healing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was heavy. We felt like we were doing healing sessions. And you were?
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
This opens it up so much more for people to understand that spirits have needs. You know, we were with Marshall Rosenberg over at the Lighter Side Network, and he was coming through and letting people know that, you know, the high esteem that you give to spirits, because you can't see them, and a lot of you can't really communicate to them the way that you want to, you know, because we're not like chatting and you're listening and stuff like that, that you think, oh, wow, they're in this different place and we've heard it's great, so they got everything and we're just leaving them to be.
Yeah.
But we need help. As you're building community and building home here on earth, it's helping us.
Yeah.
So as I'm helping you, you're helping your guides and so forth. We're all going to get the healing.
So your healing is our healing is your healing.
Yes, all one.
All one.
Yeah.
All one.
Right? But
Yeah, yeah.
again, that's the human mind just wanting to focus on the human body. That's more than the human body. It takes a little time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm kind of getting a pull that I need to ask something, so I'm going to ask you. I don't usually talk about this. My father, I rarely bring him up because
Name?
his name is Joe.
Yours.
Oh, Lila, sorry.
Wait. Hold that thought, though. I know that's terrible. But I want to see if anybody else has a question.
I'm so sorry, yeah.
No
absolutely.
worries.
No.
But I want you to sit on it, because we're going to come back around.
Okay, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
My name is Dion, and I just want to thank you. And I'm pretty sure, even though your eyes are just so amazing, I really feel that I was saying to this lovely lady here that her face was so attractive to me because she looked like family. And some people often think of family as what you're born into, and that is a proper definition. But whenever I'm here, I know that I am with family. So the work that you're doing now, that you're preparing to do, is very important.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do.
Because, thank you, for all those who have passed and they're struggling to have their message heard. And for those who are receptive to bring their voice through. To have a place where they will be heard without judgment. And for those who do the work, or rather I should say, who live the work. Thank you so much for the support. I'm so grateful to live in this time where the fruits of all that have come before will be made manifest. and be brought into the greater consciousness so that what we really want can come to its greatest fruition. It won't be easy in the way you think easy is, but it will flow. You've already made connections. Continue to trust your guidance and ground yourself, because I am telling you, you will be flying. And I thank you all so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, but if that's not a channeled message, I don't know what is.
You just got told.
I know, right? Thank you. Okay, I think that's
Our time.
I think our time. Thank you. I think our time is up. Wow, I can't believe it's just gone 5 o'clock as
Dude,
well.
Kevin, we've got to do this again. You better text that woman, tell her you're late.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I meant to mention that to you right at the beginning.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool.
All right. Tell her to feed you.
Yeah, well, that's what she said she was going to do. But okay, I just want to, in a good way. Yeah, I just want to say, look, it's been so great to have you come through. Thank you for sharing your messages with us right now. And I know we're going to speak soon. I'm little words right now, but just thank you.
Dude, fucking anytime, man. I'm going to haunt your shit.
I know you are, right? Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you to everyone as well. Really appreciate you coming down. So.
We're all pawns. All right, peace out, everybody.
Peace.